All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the money side of things, specifically the economics of teaching English online. It's one of the fastest growing corners of the education world, and for good reason. I mean, come on, who hasn't had this thought? The dream of zero commute, of connecting with people all over the planet, and, actually being in control of your own schedule. For so many of us, that's the absolute dream job. Well, for millions of people, this isn't just a daydream anymore. It's totally real. It's a reality that's being powered by technology and this massive global hunger for language skills. We're talking about the new global classroom, right here, right now. And when I say massive, I mean massive. To put a number on it, check this out. The whole online education market is on track to hit $400 billion by 2030. Yeah, billion with a B. So this isn't some tiny little niche industry. We're talking about a true economic powerhouse. So that brings us to our first big idea, the global classroom. And let me be clear, this is about way more than just picking up a simple side gig. We're looking at a huge shift in how education even works, and how you can build a real, sustainable career in a market that literally spans the entire globe. Which, of course, leads us to the big question, the one everyone's thinking about, the money. What are the earnings like? The lifestyle sounds great, but do the numbers actually add up? Okay, so let's cut through all the hype you see online. I mean, teaching from a beach in Thailand is a nice picture, but the numbers have to make sense, right? So let's talk about the bottom line. How much can you actually make? So this is the kind of range you'll see thrown around all the time. Anywhere from about $10 an hour on the low end, all the way up to $40 or even more. The first thing you've got to notice is, wow, that's a huge gap. And that $30 plus difference, trust me, it's not random. Exactly. So what is it? What separates someone making a basic wage from someone earning a real professional income? Here's a hint. It's not just about being a good teacher. It's about being a smart one. And that brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today, decoding your paycheck. See, the most important thing to get is that you have way more control over your income than you probably think. We can actually break down that wide pay range into three key things, three levers you can pull to control your salary. Okay, so here are the big three: your platform and its pay model, your qualifications, and your teaching niche. Get these three things right, and you're going to start climbing that pay scale. Let's break each one down. First up, the platform. Basically, there are two main flavors. You've got your online schools on one hand. They give you the students, they give you the curriculum, it's stable. Then you've got the marketplaces. This is where you have total freedom. You're your own boss, setting your rates, finding your students. And this chart really shows you the trade-off, plain and simple. What you're seeing here is that those marketplace platforms, they usually have a much higher earning potential. Now you take on more risk, you have to do your own marketing, sure, but the reward can be way bigger. The online schools, they give you that stability, but it often comes with a lower hourly rate. But look, choosing your platform, that's just step one. It's like picking the playing field. It doesn't decide if you win the game. The real power, the thing that unlocks a high income, is all about how you position yourself. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about boosting your bottom line. How do you make that jump from being just average to being in the top 5% of earners? How do you stop being just another face in the crowd and become a go-to high-demand teacher? Just take a look at the difference here. On one side, you've got the average teacher. They have a standard TEFL certificate, they teach general English, it's fine. But then look at the top 5% earner. They've got advanced qualifications, glowing reviews, and here's the kicker, a specialized niche. See, they're not just an English teacher. They are the solution to a very specific problem for their students. So does specializing really make that big of a difference? I mean, it's a super common thought, right? You think, hey, if I just teach general English, my potential pool of students is huge. But the problem is, in a market this crowded, being a generalist usually just means you end up competing on who's cheapest. And that's a race to the bottom. Specializing, that's what lets you charge higher rates. So let's look at some of these high-demand niches. Why do they pay more? Simple. They solve expensive, high-stakes problems. Think about it. Business English? That has a direct return on investment for someone's career, and a lot of times their company is paying for it. IELTS or TOEFL prep? That's not just a class, it's the key to getting into a university or immigrating to a new country. And things like medical English or English for tech pros, that's what allows someone to get a life-changing international job. You're not just teaching grammar anymore, you're handing them the key to a very specific, very valuable goal. Okay, so we've covered the playbook for right now. But what about tomorrow? That brings us to our last section, the future of TEFL. This industry is changing at like lightning speed. So if you want to stay on top, you've got to know where it's all going. Just think about the timeline here, the 2010s. That's when all the platforms were being built. 2020, the pandemic hit, and boom, everything shifted online like overnight. So what's next? Well, looking ahead to 2025 and beyond, the name of the game is going to be two things: even deeper specialization and figuring out how to use AI tools to make learning super personal and way more efficient. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. The 21st century educator is an entrepreneur. To really crush it in this new era, you can't just think like a teacher. You have to think like a business owner. You're the CEO of you. You are your brand, your marketing team, your strategist, the whole shebang. So when you boil it all down, your value isn't just about knowing grammar rules anymore. Not at all. It's about your ability to market what makes you unique, to use technology to your advantage, and to build a genuine connection with people on the other side of the world. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. As education keeps going global and digital, what new skills are you going to build to make sure you don't just survive, but thrive in the classroom of the future?